Welcome to Tape Talk. I'm Steel Chambers, and we got even more college football playoff action. Probably the highlight of the entire weekend. We've got an absolute defensive warfare over in College Station as the Miami Hurricanes take on and defeat the Texas A&M Aggies. Let's get to the tape.
For anyone who's a fan of high-scoring games, then this game was not for you. This was a battle between a couple of the best defenses in the country playing out of their minds, and Miami starts it off with a big-time strip sack. A&M looks completely out of sorts. Maybe they're trying to run and pin and pull with these linemen pulling around, but it's obvious that it's a busted play. Marcel Reed's back there trying to buy some time, but Miami doesn't give it to him. The nickel blitz gets home, and they cause the first turnover of the game and keeps A&M off the board. Even after a big return by Malachi Toney to give them great field position, the offense can't come up with points here. They weren't efficient on first and second down, they got into obvious passing situations, and they let this top third down defense tee off on Carson Beck. A&M's going to be showing pressure to the left, and they get Miami to counter that with a four-man slide. They then send the pressure opposite of the slide with this linebacker and the down safety off the edge. The backer down the line of scrimmage drops to wall carry number 3 to the field. They bring the pressure from the right side, and now the right guard, he's able to recover a little bit on the interior, but Fletcher, the running back, gets confused on who to pick up, and it leaves the edge player completely unblocked, and he's able to get home and sack Beck. Miami came out running the ball outside, trying to get to the edge with screens, and then they decided that wasn't going to work. So what do? They get back to the basics, and they run the ball downhill with their big back. And that mentality in this play would prove to be just a little appetizer for what would become a Mark Fletcher legacy game. They're running a simple split zone right here, right at the Aggies defense. The tight end comes across the formation for the kickout block, and Fletcher makes one cut and gets vertical. And it gets them down to the red zone where they're finally able to put some points on the board. The script for this game was taken straight from the golden ages of Miami football back in 2001. The offense just needs to put a couple points on the board, and the defense will deal with the rest. They do a great job creating yet another turnover by playing sound defense out of this cover 3 look. Now the corner, he's playing a deep third, and the goal of this play on offense is to run him off with a vertical route and then have this over route from across the field and catch it right in the area that the corner vacates. It's a great concept against cover 3, but that's why this hook player is so important in defending these over routes. Now, certain plays or defenses will either have you man turn and run with it, or just continue to get depth and affect the throw, which is what happens here. His body presence is enough to affect the throw of Marcel Reed, and not only is the throw off, but it's clear behind him and going straight into the hands of the middle field safety, who returns it deep into Aggies territory. This play doesn't look like much, but in such a tight game, this is a huge conversion for the Aggies. They're running a popular third down play known as the stick concept. The outside receiver hitches it up near the sticks in the soft part of the zone, and the motion man runs straight to the flat. Now, it works great because the flat defender here gets widened out by the outside route, and the hook and deep players just don't have time to get to the stick route. So Reed hits him, they convert on third down, and it leads to a huge game-tying field goal. You saw flashes of it in the third quarter, and once Miami gets Fletcher running north and south, they start taking control of this A&M front. Here they take advantage of poor gap integrity from the Aggie defense. The nose guard stunts out, the backer flies up in the A-gap, and it leaves a massive hole right in the heart of this defense. And based on how fast this D tackle's trying to work back to the gap, it looks like maybe he should have stayed in that A-gap. This safety should be coming downhill to fill the B-gap, but it doesn't get done, and it gives Fletcher an opportunity to show off those wheels for a massive gain, and it puts Miami in great scoring position. Now this is what college football is all about. Malachi Toney, after losing a gut-wrenching fumble, he straps it back up and delivers in the biggest moment of the game. He shows off the speed around the edge for the jet sweep. They're able to capture the edge with some great blocking, including this crackback from the wide receiver. And after that fumble, and almost being completely unconsolable, Toney follows his convoy into the end zone and delivers the biggest play of the year, and then puts Miami on top. A&M's driving for a game-tying touchdown. Miami's trying to hold the line with only 5 yards separating them from a win or an overtime. The moment doesn't get any bigger than this. These are the moments you dream of as a kid, running around in your backyard throwing around the football. Miami's playing man-to-man, but with this back staying in the block, they're able to have 3 rat/robber players to really muddy up the look for Marcel Reed. But even with this limited space, he's able to find a window within the defense and tries to thread the needle for the game-tying touchdown and force overtime. But Marcel Reed, yet again, throws it behind his guy, and he pays the ultimate price. If he leads his tight end a little more, maybe it's a touchdown, but Miami gets the game-winning interception and seals the deal on this low-scoring thriller in College Station.
Certainly one of the more interesting games throughout the entire year, but a great game nonetheless. You really saw Miami make the adjustments and take the game out of Carson Beck's hands and just focus on running the ball downhill. And in the defense, they just looked fantastic per usual. An overall great win for Hurricane Nation, but you've got a fantastic game on the horizon, an absolutely historic rivalry between the Miami Hurricanes and the Ohio State Buckeyes playing in the Cotton Bowl in about a week or two. It's going to be one hell of a game.